I mean, you usually sound like trash.
That's true, man. I have one of these voices where I'm like, is my voice? Do you ever have that problem where you're like, is my voice good, or does it sound like glass hitting a Nissan Maxima?
No, I've never had that problem. My
You
voice
feel
is
like,
pretty pleasant for everyone. Okay, we're starting.
oh shit, okay, I'm here.
All right, guys,
Yeah,
welcome back to Devil's Advocate. Not you, Michael. Shut up. Wait until I fucking introduce you.
Jesus Christ, this is starting off so aggressive. Go ahead.
Guys, welcome back to Devil's Advocate with Rosebud Baker. You know who I am. I'm Rosebud Baker. And that's how we start the podcast.
That's how you start your podcast?
Shut up a second.
All right,
Let
man.
me finish the thing.
Everyone knows your fucking name, dude. It says it all over your
It doesn't matter. It reminds me who I am.
You need to remind yourself who you are?
Don't we all, Michael? Don't we all? It's 2020. We're in a pandemic. Our careers are falling to pieces.
Thriving? Nope, they're thriving.
Not all of us. Not all. I need you to just take it down. You're at a 9. Take it down.
All right.
Take it down to a 6 until I introduce you.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So you guys, just want to say thank you for listening to the podcast. Really, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank every last one of you. You're angels. And, you know, if you've left a review and you've rated and you've subscribed to this podcast, I just want to know, I want you to know that when I wake up and I make a gratitude list, you're at the top of it. All right? Every last one of you is, makes my life worth living. And I can't wait to introduce my guest. He is one of my oldest friends. He is, and by that I mean he's aging rapidly. Guys, comedian, heartthrob, just love of my life, Michael Blaustein of the Stiff Socks podcast. Put your hands together. I don't give a shit if you're in your car. Put your hands together, take your hands off the wheel, and clap for this man.
Clap.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for being here.
I wanted to give you guys the correct audio.
Can you speak up because you're using your AirPods, so they need to make sure that they hear you.
You're frozen.
What do you mean I'm frozen?
Now you're not frozen. Now it sounds great, but it's so funny when you introduced me, you froze. But I think we're good now. What did you say about my AirPods? You want me to talk louder? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I just said that. But now that we've lost all momentum, it doesn't really matter.
I didn't hear you say that. Are we gonna fight for the first 6 minutes of this fucking podcast?
It's so funny. I was sitting on my couch and I was like, I don't want a fucking podcast right now. But I was so happy that I have you as a guest because I can I can be as shitty as I want to be.
You should be. That's how our relationship is. That's the foundation of our relationship. If you were ever nice to me too long, it would be weird and I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, we've known each other. I mean, you're my oldest friend from New York because we've known each other since I got sober and since you had a bowl cut like JTT, like Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I
really did. And it was really, you just look back at those haircuts and you're like, during the haircut, you're like, oh, this is how I fuck. Yeah. I walk around with this haircut, women want to fuck, and then I leave the room and I feel good about it. But you look back and you go, oh, no. It doesn't even make me
how did I fuck with that haircut?
That's my point, though. It doesn't make me think that I feel bad about myself. I feel like, what type of women were in these streets having sex with me with that goddamn haircut? It was their fault because here's the thing. If I didn't fuck with that hair, I would have changed it.
Listen,
yes,
it's actually not their fault. It was childhood. No, okay. It was childhood programming because they grew up watching Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Who was a smoke show.
A smoke show?
Holy fuck.
Let me tell you something. I would fuck Jonathan Taylor Thomas as a kid today.
Wow. Oh, wow. Can we say that? Okay.
No.
Well, then I'm on board. No.
Technically, you can't say that. You cannot say that.
Then I'm against that.
But I did.
I really am. Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Yeah, you had a Jonathan Taylor Thomas haircut. It was wild to see. And, I had poor judgment because I was getting sober. So I was like, I'm going to befriend this man.
Yeah. I have no idea. How do we even, were we friends prior to the acting teacher making us be scene partners? Did we even talk before that? Or he just like threw us in a scene together and was like, you guys would make a catastrophe of a couple?
Yeah, no, I honestly don't think we did. I mean, we talked a little bit, but I remember you being like this positive light that like would walk in the room and just like, it was like a walking birthday party. Just walk in the room, great mood every day. I was like, this guy had a great childhood and I wanted nothing to do with it.
You shouldn't have. Well, that was before life kicked me in the dick 6 million times.
Yeah.
That was like when I first got to New York and I was like, I'm going to be a fucking actor. Yeah. Where's Shakespeare? Let's just fucking read it. Together, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Life just fucking sucked.
It was before everything fell to pieces for you. And
yes.
Yeah. And I remember, and so me and Michael met at William Esper Studio, which is an acting conservatory program in New York City in our early 20s. And we were thrown together as scene partners. And on the first night of that class, I went out drinking for the last night, at least in the last almost 13 years. So
wow, I can't believe I didn't know that. Like I thought, well, how long was it? Because it was like maybe like only a couple of weeks before we had a scene, right? So like that, the first day you walked in was essentially the last night that you drank. Is that correct?
Yeah. Because remember I asked everybody to go out drinking after?
Yes, I do. Did we go to that one fucking whatever place?
You guys went to that one place. I went to about 3 places, but you guys went to that one place.
You fucking idiot.
I went from that place to another place to another place, and then I woke up on my floor.
Hold on. Can you refresh my memory? Didn't you say at one point that you used to wear roller skates and skate around the bars? Is that right?
Yeah, I did. I used to wear roller skates, and I would roller skate through Times Square bar hopping with like this cowgirl hat on. I thought I was in like Boogie Nights. I don't know what I was doing. I was not hot enough to be Heather Graham, but I wanted to be Roller Girl.
No, you're definitely not hot enough to be her. But you tried, and that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah. Is it though?
No. I mean, I hate that part of you, but I'm just trying to be positive.
Yeah. And I remember it's so funny too, because when you remember when you're sitting down with somebody trying to remember a past together and you both have like completely different like recollections of it. That's the thing about memory is it's like you both have your version of what happened, but you don't really know. I could have been sitting right next to you and we could describe an event completely different ways.
Yeah, that's why when people are like in a murder case, like, that person did it. It's like, well, did they? That's what you remember, bitch. But what if a coyote ate the baby? Long pause. You're not getting
No. It froze and I heard nothing until you were like, that's what you heard, bitch. But what if a coyote ate the baby?
You needed. Oh God, I'm sweating. That's so funny. That's all you needed.
I don't even need to know what the rest of it was.
You don't. You really
That's
don't.
what you heard, bitch. but what if a coyote ate the baby? I mean, what if?
What else do you need? Hold on. Do you remember the first time that we ran lines together? We were in some park and you were like shaking because you needed Jack Daniels, whatever you drank.
I remember it not being in a park. I remember it being right outside of.
Why are you frozen again? Okay, I got it.
It's because you're in LA and everyone in LA has like the worst service ever. But I remember not being in a park. I remember being right outside of the Esper studio holding my paper, and we were running the lines. We were reading through the scene together, and I was like, it was like we were on a fucking roller coaster.
Right. But I think before that, because we were running lines before the class, right? But I think before that, we like got together to run the scene, like to practice. And we went to some park. And I remember you were literally like a butterfly. You still sort of are like that, like HDA, like you can't focus at all on one thing. I can't believe you can run even a podcast. But
yeah, it's crazy.
Like, it's insane. But I remember like trying to have a conversation with you about the scene. And I'm like 1 minute into talking about like my character versus your character, the fuck, and I'm just like, oh, she's not retaining any of this, like none. Like I just remember how I was like, how the fuck am I gonna have a conversation or let alone run a scene with this woman? She can't even focus for 1 minute. Was it because you just wanted alcohol, or you just are like that naturally?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, of course. You hate it.
I remember being in the park.
Oh no.
Running the scene. I don't remember you being there.
Maybe I wasn't.
Which pretty much answers your question. Like,
right.
Because I think it's a combination of the two. I mean, obviously, I obviously was detoxing, but even after the detox, it's like, once I was like sober, it's not like things have gone more smoothly,
Yes. I mean, a little bit, but yeah, that sort of part of you almost can't blame it on the alcohol.
Who can't function in a basic adult way.
You've gotten so much better, by the way, like astronomically better.
Thank you.
I mean, dude, before that, it was atrocious.
Well, you yourself have become so hardened and actually, I would say scabbed by life that you're 1,000 times more enjoyable as a person.
You know what? Yes.
But I don't mean that to say that positive people are like impossible to be around. It's just most of the time, it's hard to trust them, because you feel like this when you meet a really positive, happy person. You're like, you don't really know anything about life.
It's that, or it's like, what are you hiding? Like you've killed 3 people. Like you have bodies in the basement. That's why you're being overly positive. That's why the Chick-fil-A employees, I'm like, fuck you, dude. This is not real. None of this is real.
Wait, what do you mean? Is Chick-fil-A really positive?
Oh my fucking God. It's like they go above and beyond. Like you ask them for pickles, they'll like run in themselves and get it. It's like, what's happening here? Who has your family? What's happening? What's your secret? I fucking hate. It's like, thank you so much for the enjoyable chicken. It's so good, but you don't have to be so positive. Just hand it to me. I don't need all this. I don't need you to do a jig in front of me. Just bring me the fucking burger. It's too much.
I hate to start a sentence this way, but there was a New York Times article that I read, and
I wish I could log off right now. Log off. What type of fucking blog writer response? Log off.
There was a fucking article in the New York Times that I read, and it was about how Trader Joe's employees are more likely to get depressed because they're forced to be so positive at work.
Yeah, that makes total. Dude, you have positivity fatigue. You only can maintain that so long, and then you think about suicide. Like you could only, and it's also the Trader Joe's employees. They're not doing anything fun. They're like stocking bananas. So how positive can you be about just life in general if you're just stocking bananas all day and people are asking, "Oh, where's the cream cheese?" I fucking hate you. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, and there's a way to be a miserable person and still be likable and fun to be around. That's the thing.
100%. There's a middle ground.
There is a middle ground, and I think I've discovered that through, I think therapy. Yeah, obviously. Are you in therapy still?
Yes, not with the same guy, but I re-entered therapy maybe. But yeah, I'm doing. Are you doing the FaceTime like on the phone shit with your therapist, or are you?
Yeah.
Out?
Yeah, I'm doing it over the phone, but I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This whole I haven't been wanting to make an appointment with my therapist because I'm actually resentful of how much money he's making during COVID.
I can't even imagine how much money he's making.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be stupid. I mean, because let's say he has like 40, let's say he maintains like 50% of his client list. The 50% that left are back. Like he's making
Yeah.
stupid money.
Yeah. And does that ever
Yeah.
like annoy you? Like sometimes I'll be like listening to his advice and he's like, there's no reason why your career would slow down because of this. And I'm like, no, there's no reason why your career would slow down because of this. Like, I just want to be like, Peter, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now. I'm like, this is your fucking jackpot.
Yeah, it is really hilarious how certain careers like really have just like snowballed because of this versus people that went from like making whatever to making $0. Like there's some people that are like literally doing backflips every day. Like, oh my God, let's maintain the pandemic. They're like coughing in old people's mouths to like make it keep going because they're like, I needed more money. And there's other people that are like, if unemployment stops, I'm gonna have to murder my cat to have food. Like it's such a hilarious
Yes.
it's such a hilarious juxtaposition.
Are you on unemployment or are you just like, no?
I don't know how to answer this without being a person that's doing backflips and wanting to cough in old people's mouths. I'm good because yeah. I mean the I think the pandemic has increased like my podcast numbers, so like it's doing better because people are home. So the short answer is no, I don't have to be on unemployment.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the podcasting has helped me stay alive. Like I'm not on unemployment because of the podcasts and because before the podcast I had enough work where I was like, okay, I'm good for a while. But that being said, I still, and maybe this is because I'm just like a fucking, I don't know, maybe I'm just a bad person. I still resent my therapist for how much money he's making.
That's so funny. Like what? Like, yeah. Do you feel? Is there? I guess I'll just ask it directly. Is there a part of you that feels really bad that you're making money during this and like a lot of our friends aren't?
No.
You don't. That's hilarious.
No.
I feel fine about it now because it's like it's just like sort of become regular. But for the first like couple months, I felt really bad.
Yeah,
I feel like really bad because so many of our friends make all of their money on live ticket sales, doing stand up. So like if it's just gone, so I felt like I really did feel like.
But I don't feel I don't feel bad because I'm not doing that to them. You know what I mean? I feel sympathy and empathy for the situation that they're in, but I don't feel bad about but that's like because of therapy, because I'm like, okay, we can't make it like, I'm not getting successful to spite anyone and you're not getting successful to spite anyone else. There's no like, revenge wasn't the thing that was like driving me to, and it wasn't like about that. So, it's obviously there are people in the business that will take your success personally, and that is 100% their problem, not yours.
Oh, of course. There's hate comes from not like they're feeling against you. It has to do with everything or what's happening in their life, and they're using that hate and they're just like sort of throwing it like hopitating onto you, which is horrendous. But I feel like I felt bad because we're like stand-ups, and on some level we all feel like we're in this together. Obviously we're not. We're all individuals and we're all individually trying to make it. But it does feel like, especially the people that are close to you that are stand-ups, it feels like a family.
Yeah.
So then you're everyone's reaching, not everyone, but a lot of people reach out to me for advice or whatever. And then I'm giving my best advice, I guess. But deep down, I'm like, I'm not feeling any of this. And normally when people reach out about like stand up and, live stuff, I feel it as well. So I feel extra empathy because I'm in it. But it
Yeah.
feels, I guess I got off the phone with a lot of people and I just felt horrible for them. And I felt horrible that I wasn't in the same boat. And listen, I talked to my therapist about it and, you know, we ironed it out. But yeah, for the first couple months, I actually felt bad that I was like, honestly doing better than I was before the pandemic.
Yeah. I think, but I also think that that's you're like a very loyal friend, like a very more so than I think most people I know. You're like a very loyal friend. And that's one of your best qualities. But I think like any good quality, it's like if you take it to a certain extreme, it can it can hurt you as much as it's helped you. So you just have to like, that's why I feel like if you have a therapist, you're good, because you can kind of keep that shit won't control your life, you know?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It is like a balancer. Like there's so many things that I bring to her and then she's like, yeah, totally understand what you're saying, but how about this? And I'm just like, fuck. It's a totally different perspective and it like evens me out. I don't like jump 100% in her boat, but it evens me out where I'm like, I'm feeling extreme this way, I'm feeling a 10 and she's like, well, how about this other opinion that brings me to a 2? And I sort of find the middle ground. And if I didn't have that therapist, like dog, it would be horrible. Like I'm such a huge advocate for therapy. It's crazy. You're the one who got me into it, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. I remember that because you were being such a fuckboy. And I remember being like, I remember something had happened with some girl, I think. And you were like reaching out to me about something or other. And I was like, you got fucking intimacy issues, dude. I remember it being about that.
Fuck, yes, that's exactly right. I thought it was like my depression, but it was before that.
Yeah. It was like intimacy shit. And I remember being like, you went to go see my therapist, Peter, and who gets a shout out on this podcast pretty much every week. And yeah, he's the best. And you went to Peter, and I think within a month, you were in like a long-term relationship that lasted for a year and a half.
Oh no, dude, that lasted for that was Iris. It lasted for 3 years.
Oh, 3 years,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, 3. Yeah. That was oh my God, I forgot all about like the timeline of that. Yeah, that was insane. Like I didn't have a girlfriend for I think probably 8-9 years, like something crazy. And I was just in these streets being insane. And I just like was like, oh, girlfriends have ruined my career and blah, blah, blah. And I was so like wildly unhappy because of that like line of thinking. And I remember you were like, go to therapy. And dude, I think under a month, it was insane. Like I saw Peter, he like gave me a bunch of books to read and shit. And within, I honestly think under a month, that's when I met Iris. And he
Didn't
was
you
like,
read, you read The Big Leap, right?
Yes, dude.
I love that book.
Yeah. The Big Leap. And what was the other one he always recommends? The Art of some shit. The Art of the War on Art. The War of Art, the War on Art, some shit like that.
Oh, he's never suggested that for me, which actually makes me self-conscious now. But okay.
But maybe I just have more shit to deal with than you. And he's like, you know what? One book will get you.
He was probably like, he looked at me and he was like, she's not a real artist.
Dude, do you still consider yourself an artist? Like I remember when we first met and through all the Esper shit, through all going to the masterclass and doing acting and loving acting so much and then doing stand-up, we both were like, we're artists and we love dark dramatic roles and blah, 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 blah. And then sort of we both just found, found stand-up independently, but we both like at, some point.
You got me into stand-up.
Yeah. But but we sort of all just like sort of found our journey in terms of everything stand-up. And I guess I'm answering my question. Like when I'm like, I'm all stand-up right now, I don't even consider myself an actor anymore. And so like this whole artist thing is like gone. Like this whole like journal every day and try to look at the world around me and pick up emotions from people and I'm going to harbor them so I can use them later in roles. All that shit's fucking gone. And do you still consider yourself an artist in that way, or are you just like, fuck it, yeah?
It's so funny. It feels like you're interviewing me on my podcast, but
Dude, by the way, I always do this. I'd much rather talk about other people, so I always do this. But go ahead.
I do that too.
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know. It's because you got a point. Like, it's like when you're doing stand-up, there's something about stand-up that feels more like, and this is just as douchey of a word, but it feels more like craftsmanship than it does artistry. You know, like there's something about stand-up that feels more like you're crafting something than like creating. You know, it's just such a down to earth art form because there's no, you're not like hiding. You're literally just getting on a stage and being like, here's what I have to say.
Yeah, you're trying to perfect yourself. And I think with acting, you're trying to perfect your ability to be other people. And there's like a certain ingrained honesty in stand-up that doesn't apply to acting. Like you almost feel like you're faking because you are. But with stand-up, you're trying to just perfect yourself. But
don't you feel like after a certain point in stand-up, you start to go, all right, I know how to do it. Like I know how to do the craft of it. Like I can write a joke. I can put together an act. I can get on stage. And then there's like little things that I'm finding that are a little bit more artistic than they are organized. And I don't know which side of the brain is the organized one, but like
I have no idea.
A little like, okay, I'm going to give an example. Okay, so I have I was watching my own act. It was like a year ago, and I was watching myself, and I was like, okay, this is a girl who knows how to write a joke, can put together an act, but everything I was doing was so rehearsed looking to me, and I was like, and it was so organized that I was like, there's something about it that just doesn't feel authentic.
Yeah.
And so that's the part of it where I went, all right, I have to tune a little bit more into being in the joke rather than just saying the joke, you know, and that feels a little bit more like acting.
Right. But don't you agree that that's just like a form of like perfecting your self? Well, I guess honestly, it's like it is acting, but like the role is yourself. Like that sounds like a New York Times article, but do you agree or no? Like it's just like you take these words that you wrote. I mean, you do. I mean, I'm like way more performative than you, but like on stage, I mean, but yeah, I find like little nuances all the time that I guess you would say there's like little nuances that are more like, I guess, leaning more towards the artistic side than it would be the honesty side, I guess.
Right. There's like sometimes I'll end a joke and I'll go at the end of the joke.
Yeah.
And I used to look at that and go, that's like a nervous habit. And I think when I do it a lot, it is. But there's other times when I'm like, that needs to stay there because I want to keep whatever indication there is of me searching for the next thought.
100%. You know who's the best of that? Patrice O'Neal was the fucking best at acting as if he was searching.
Yeah.
All his little affectations, he would just like say like, you know, pizza on my kneecap. It's just.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was such a beautiful thing because not only he was making the audience feel as though it was very conversational and him searching, but also that was building tension. So it was like it was like a three-pronged thing that was just fucking beautiful. All these, it's just, and then bang, and it was all that like searching was all that him building tension. I don't know if it was on purpose. I think he sort of just found it. But yeah, it is. I agree with you. And you know what's weird is like when I got back on stage recently, I found myself not missing the words. I found myself missing like the way my body moved.
Same.
And again, Oh, I was gonna say, I know that you don't move as much as me, whatever, but I was
Just the
that's why I'm
relaxation,
asking you.
though.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was like, and this is gonna be another douchey thing. Literally, I was like, oh, I miss this dance. Like, I just like the way, relaxation is exactly the right word. Like, just your body moving in such like a fluid way, and it doesn't move like that in real life. And I
Yeah.
remember like 5 minutes into my set, I was like, oh God, I just miss just like lava lamp movements I just don't do in real life. It was goddamn.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. I found like it feels the same. I'll get on stage, I'll do my act, but I feel like I'm locked up. Like physically, I'm just fucking locked up. And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, it's like sex where you're trying too hard to come. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Where you're like, God, fuck. I can't
Yeah.
force an orgasm, you know?
Right. Although it would be nice to do that. Yeah.
It would be great. But actually, even, you know what? It wouldn't be, because I have forced an orgasm, and they're not great. They're like little. They're like little ones, you know? And he's like, did you come? And you're like, a little bit.
Yeah, you're like, sort of, kind of. Dude, I can't even imagine if I fucking asked her if she came and then she said a little bit. I think I'll just jump out of my window. That's the worst fucking thing.
I love saying that to Andy. I love saying
Oh my God,
that.
dude. He's going to kill himself. He needs to stop that. That's really, he's not going to be able to get hard anymore.
It's so funny to me.
To you, I know. Not to him. Fuck, he's like a nice guy.
He'll just go, okay. Okay. You know what I am happy about is that with this whole COVID thing, I started planning my wedding just because I was bored. And I kind of just like planned it in a week and threw out an invitation, and then you got the invitation, and then 3 days later I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna have to postpone this. Dude, because I was just bored.
Rosebud thing. Such a fucking Rosebud thing to send out whatever, how many invitations, most likely over 100. And then 2 days later, I get a thing. When I got the invitation, I was like, bitch, what are you doing? It's like we're in the middle of a fucking universal pandemic and you're throwing weddings out here?
I was just looking for an activity. And I got into the activity, and then once I sent out the invitations, I was like, oh, I never really thought about whether this would be possible.
Right. Just like, I didn't really think about it as possible. I'm sorry.
Wait, you just froze. Dude, what did you say?
I don't even remember. Who fucking cares?
But I am glad that I had to postpone it, because now you can come. Because I was like, it honestly would have been weird to get married without you there. It would have been like bizarre. There were so many times in our lives when we were like, if we both end up alone, can we just like raise a kid together? Maybe like just like get a kid, and then, you know, from somewhere like a park or something.
Yeah, just not even really and even if he kicks and screams, just be like, oh, kids are crazy, and just run away. Yeah,
you get a van that's fast enough and you're fine.
Yeah, maybe like a Dave & Buster's kid.
Yeah. You know, grow up to be an athlete. We found him in Dave & Buster's.
Oh my God. You keep freezing. It's driving me insane. It doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's not your fault. It's Bill Gates' fault. What the fuck was I gonna say? But yeah, I know. I'm like very happy that I can go now, because I was so sad when you sent that thing. I was like, fuck, I can't go.
Yeah. It would have been weird. Awesome. Would have been weird to not have you there.
Speaking of your mentality, I'm gonna tell the people what happened with the dog finding thing and how you rosebudded me into getting a fucking dog. Do you remember this?
Shit, yeah. I wanted to ask you about this.
You bitch.
First of all, Michael, it was your idea to get a dog.
It was yes. But what the story I'm about to tell people was 100% your fault. And you know what? No. I'll take accountability. It was my fault for listening to you, because I know how your brain works, and it was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
So Rosebud
Okay.
and I go to this puppy place because Rosebud wants a puppy. I want a puppy. Fantastic.
No. We go to a puppy place because you wanted a puppy. And I said, if I go with you to pick out a dog, I will probably get a dog.
Which is great. But that part of the story didn't affect me at all. I was very happy we're going to get a dog together. Adorable, friendship, connection, awesome. We go to the puppy place, and we're waiting for the shipment of puppies, which sounds horrendous, but just bear with me. We're waiting for the shipment of puppies. And there's this motherfucking husky puppy, everyone. And a husky puppy, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's the hottest thing in the world. It's like, you've never seen such a hot dog. And it was
the sexy ass dog.
Dude, closest thing to a model dog that you could
Can I pause this story? Can I pause this story? I need to give them the context of, okay, the night before, Michael calls me from this fucking puppy rescue, and he was like, I found this puppy. She's so fucking cute. I don't know whether I don't know whether I can get her or not. I don't know. You're like, I'm parked. I feel like I should drive away and think about this, but I don't know if I should think about it. And I was like, no, go back and get that fucking dog. That dog's adorable. And then Michael says, this was my favorite because it not only says who you are, it's men all over. You go, well, here's the thing. She just had puppies and like her nipples are really long.
It was.
And I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean I was like, first of all, what do you mean she just had puppies and that's like a bad thing? You were like, I don't know, man. She's like, her nipples are gross and they're like hanging down. And I was like, I don't know why you need your dog's pussy to be tight.
Okay, listen, I want a fresh out the factory dog. I don't want some damaged goods, some fucking dented soup can of a goddamn dog.
Okay, and there you go. So there you go, ladies. This is what, if you're thinking about having a kid, I just want all the women listening to know that this is how they look at a puppy after she has kids. All right, so just imagine what they think. A dented soup can.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. A dented fucking Campbell's soup can walking around with 4 legs. Her tits were touching the ground.
So you left her in the rain and you went home. You left a puppy in the rain because her pussy was too loose for you. And you said, I'm going to give it a second. I'm going to think about it. And then you went home and the puppy she was taken into a loving home that didn't mind her nipples. And she's probably happy. So it's a good story in the end, but I needed people to know that you had thought about this dog, and then the next morning you were like, I lost the puppy with the bad nipples, and we're going to go look for this other dog, this other shipment of puppies. We get there. There's a husky puppy in the back.
Yes. Husky puppy in the back. It was fucking gorgeous. I was petting. It was, dude. First of all, nipples weren't hitting the ground. Pussy tight as a goddamn drum. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Pussy tight as a drum.
Oh, it was. I checked. Okay. Just joking, everyone. I'm just totally joking, obviously. So I go down to pet this puppy, and it's showing a ton of affection. I look up at Rosebud. I'm like, Rosebud, tell me not to get this puppy. It's a fucking husky. It's going to become 70 pounds. It has 2 sets of coats. It's fucking sheds everywhere. It's going to be a nightmare. I travel a lot. There's no way someone's going to be able to take this fucking dog in my apartment. And Rosebud goes, Michael, just get it. Just get it. It loves you. You'll figure it out. Such a Rosebud answer. Just get it. Send the invitations out during a fucking pandemic. Who cares? type of thinking. And I'm stupid. I know you. I've known you for 13 fucking years. And my stupid ass goes, Rosebud, you're right. Which is something I've never said. I've never said that before. So, guys.
I said, love will find a way. That was my answer. And, it did. It found its way right back to the shelter. Right back.
I put that dog in my car. I felt like the belle of the ball, by the way, when I was walking out with it, because everyone's like, oh, it's motherfucking hit. And they were freaking out. So I felt good because everyone else wanted the dog. And I was like, oh, I won or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then 5 minutes down the road, I literally flash panic attack. I was like, I can't take care of this dog. This dog's gonna be 70 pounds. I don't even like big dogs. What am I doing? I didn't sleep. Rosebud, I literally slept no minutes that night. So I was freaking out that I was gonna text the woman. The woman was gonna be like, nope, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But luckily she didn't. And she's like, oh, there's like 5 or 6 people that want that dog. Just bring it back. It's fine. We'll find another dog. But the whole reason we bring that up is because it's such a Rosebud line of thinking to be like, love to find a way when you knew that I didn't even like big dogs.
I didn't know you didn't like big dogs. I think if you don't like big dogs, you're a psychopath. Big dogs are great. Big dogs are great.
Both of your big dogs are medium dogs. We're talking about a husky that's going to be 70 goddamn pounds.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
Charlie's
pretty
40
true.
Pounds?
Charlie's 40 pounds. Yeah, I mean, he should be 32, but he's fat. He's built like Lizzo.
Jesus.
I don't know. He's just, he's got a badonkadonk. I'm not saying he's not a beautiful dog. He is.
He is. He's kind of thick, though.
He's thick as hell.
Yeah, big ass.
When he walks, his ass walks after him. It walks after he moves. You know what I mean?
Like the Slinky dog in Toy Story.
Yeah, it's like a wave. It's a beautiful thing to watch him walk. But yeah, and then Mouse is just this little scrapper. And Mouse, that was the day I got Mouse, was when you got the husky. Right.
How is Mouse? Because I know that you hated him for a very long time.
Oh, I don't hate her. She's sweet. She's a whore. Yeah. She's a giant whore. She's a slut, and she's not ashamed of it.
Is she potty trained yet? I saw that in one of your Instagram things. I saw that you had a goddamn diaper on this dog.
Let me ask you this: is your puppy potty trained yet?
Yeah.
So is mine.
No, you're such a liar. My dog is literally fully potty trained and can use a bell. My dog uses hits the bell to go outside. My dog uses the toilet. Your dog uses Huggies, you fucking lunatic.
She will use the toilet and then she'll scrub it with Clorox when she's done.
Really?
And that's 100% the truth, not a fabrication.
I feel like you're lying. Is your puppy still wearing diapers for real?
Not right now.
Why? Because it's asleep?
Not right now because because she took them off because she needed to use the bathroom, the big girl bathroom.
Okay, hold on. Walk me through this, though. How did you get to the point where you're like, fuck this dog, I'm putting Huggies on this dog?
She pissed in my hair, Michael. Michael just literally, your mic couldn't take the frequency of your laughter just now.
My laugh is terrible.
It was, so Andy got up in the morning to like let the dog pee, and she got away. She got out of his arms, wriggled out, ran into the bedroom, jumped on my head, squatted, and pissed in my hair. And I just opened my eyes and I looked at Andy, and he just looked at me like, no, like it was like this. And he was like, no. And I just like, I stood up and I was like, I can't believe this is how I just started my fucking day. Like this is how my day is beginning. I took Mouse, I handed her to Andy, and I was like, I want you to know that every time Mouse has an accident, it's your fault.
Jesus Christ.
And I said, if I'm asleep, it's not my fault. If you're the one taking her out, it's your fault. And he was like, because, he was like, my fault. And I was like, well, I was asleep. I mean, it would have been our fault, but my hair is the one with piss in it.
I can't believe she peed in your hair. And
I think Andy did it on purpose. I think Andy whispered in her ear, go piss in your mother's hair. Well, and she was like, no problem.
After you tell him that you come a little bit, I would do the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
But that's just to be funny.
I think pissing your hair is very funny. You saw how I laughed. That's hilarious to me.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Anyway, so now she's in diapers, and But we're getting there. I think she finally got it I'm scared to say this, but I think she finally got it the last 2 weeks because we haven't had any accidents. I'm hoping that we're 100% there. I don't know for sure. But it's a lot harder to potty train a dog in a 5th floor walk up.
100%. 100%. Like I live in LA. I have a fucking yard. I live on the 2nd floor, so it's literally just one flight down. Totally get it. Horrendous. Fucking
it's
horrendous.
Bad. It's bad. But she was just so little. Like it was hard for her to hold it.
Oh, dude. I mean, listen. I hated my puppy. I still don't. I love my puppy, but I have a lot of hatred. Like a lot of hatred. Like, I would wake up every 2 hours to take this dog out for the first month in the crate. Every 2 hours, and she still would have accidents.
Yeah.
Back in the crate, and then 30 minutes later, I'd wake up to and I'd open the crate, shit and pee. And the crate was so small that she was covered in the shit and pee. So not only am I up at 4 a.m, now I have to wash a goddamn dog and clean a crate. Like, it was horrible. Fucking horrible.
It's the worst. It makes you think about having kids, and you're like, there's no way. There's no way.
I found the reason why I get so, because I'm on 1,000 when the dog has an accident, or I have to reprimand the dog. Like I go from 0 to 1,000, and I realized it's because like every time they fuck up the puppy, it's like an indictment towards like how I am going to be as a parent. Yeah. And so it's like this weird like lizard brain thing where I'm like, I'm gonna be a horrible dad because the puppy peed on the air fryer or something.
Yeah, you start blaming yourself. You're like, there's no way that I can be responsible for another human being. I barely have my own shit together. Then you start questioning, like, how am I supposed to like build a life for myself when I'm giving all my fucking attention to this dog? And I used to throw myself into being a dog owner, like with an insane amount of commitment. But now I think after comedy, I like found something I really love. And now I'm like, piss in my hair. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to spend more time than is necessary potty training you, you know?
I think it's also a shitty combination, right? It's like raising a puppy in an apartment's hard, but it's also like during the pandemic, not doing stand-up. It's just like just a fucking perfect storm tornado of just like wanting to kill everyone.
Yeah. I do have one more question for you. And this is before we jump into, we give bad advice at the end of the podcast. All right. So somebody's going to, good at this. Yeah, I figured most comedians are. I don't feel like are qualified to give great advice. So, but we can give bad advice. And, so my question to you is, how is you're single during the pandemic? How many of these people are actually fucking? I mean, are people fucking? Because I feel like they are.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I think in the first maybe month when people, when people were panicking and honestly we still don't have a ton of information, but had like no information and they couldn't get toilet paper and they were scared they couldn't get chicken, like all that shit. Then it was a little hard. But even during that period, women were still coming over. But now I think it's just become the normal. So,
shut up. Sorry, the dogs.
Diaper. But now I think it's just, since it's become the norm, it's pretty normal, dude. Like nobody for the most part even asks if you've had a COVID test. Like nobody.
What?
Oh yeah, nobody. Like
really?
Very rare. Dude, I came back, I was on the road in Wisconsin, got on 4 different flights, was in 5 shows, didn't do like meet and greets, whatever, but like 5 shows, no one's wearing a mask. And I came back, and the night after I got back, I had someone come over and they knew all of the whole Wisconsin shit, didn't ask anything.
You told them, I've been on 4 planes. I've been in an indoor comedy club with little to no circulation. And she was like, I will get COVID for this dick, is basically what she was saying to herself.
Yes. Here's the thing. I think that the first month or 2, it was like, I'll get COVID for the dick. But I think now, I think people are striving for normalcy so much that they're like they don't even want to even ask that question.
She's just sense? Like COVID doesn't exist.
Like, yeah, I think people are at a point where there's like
she's putting it out of her mind completely.
Fuck it. Yes. But the short answer to the question is yes. People don't give a fuck, or maybe the girls that I'm just running into, excuse me, don't care. But yeah, dude. Even on like Bumble profiles, if it says like, you know, keep your distance, blah blah blah, they're still coming over. So it's like this weird like. Yeah.
All right, ladies.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then they're on their Instagram going, wear a mask.
Yes.
This is what's driving me so fucking crazy about this time is like, because we live online, everyone is running their own campaign. And the truth of the matter is like, if you check their DMs, nobody's fucking clean, you know? Like, I can't stand it.
I'm sure some people are remaining like vigilant towards their shit, but most of the people that I've run into online or whatever, or they just straight DM me, like they don't care. They don't ask about a COVID test. They don't ask where I've been. Like they come over.
Do they ask you to put a mask on just so they don't have to look at you?
No.
Okay.
I would, dude. I'm kind of into trying the whole like mask fucking thing. Have you done it with Andy yet?
I mean, I make Andy wear a mask anyway. It's a mask of like a couple different NBA players. I'm just like, could you put this on? And then I just try not to look down.
Jesus Christ, you're so being real to me right now. Like,
Come on.
I want to fuck Will Chamberlain.
Of course. Of course I'm going to make fun of him. I love him. It's how I show love. Okay. Here's the bad advice. Here's what we're going to ask.
So on purpose, you're supposed to give shitty advice. This is what this is about?
Great. Yeah. So this person is asking me, what side gig should I pick up? Uber Eats, Instacart, or TaskRabbit?
OnlyFans.
Yeah. OnlyFans. You know what you should do is an OnlyFans Uber Eats mashup where if they pay a certain amount, you will Uber yourself over there and they can eat your pussy.
That's an idea. I like that. Or you can combine it where like whatever food they order, you put that in your pussy on the OnlyFans.
I love that. That's creative.
And then you don't have to leave.
Yes. Yeah. That's great. I love it. So there you go. You guys, I think we actually just came up with a business plan and we may need to do a follow-up meeting and, you know, just get some
trademark it.
Yeah, probably get some IP rights to this. But anyway, it's IP rights, right? Isn't that's lawyer talk?
You don't know what that means. Yeah.
Intellectual property.
Ooh,
okay. What?
Okay, bitch.
Somebody's done a little bit of research.
Okay, bitch.
Michael, where do they find you?
You can find me on all the social medias at Blau Comedy, BLAU Comedy, and podcast every Wednesday called Stiff Socks, and Patreon every Friday.
Okay. And you guys, you can follow me at Rosebud Baker and devilsadvocatepod.atc on Instagram. You could also write your bad advice questions into devilsadvocatepod.atc@gmail.com. And that is today's episode. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.